Hey, you all. Hope all is well. I just wanted to stop by and encourage you, mainly those of you who have just been dealt, a crappy hand in life. I was thinking about today how, as children, you know, we don't get to choose the type of family we're born into. We don't get to choose whether they're rich, poor, good people, bad people, alcoholics, drug addicts. We don't get to choose any of that. Yet, we're born into these families and we have to deal with whatever comes along with that. And if you're like me, I just got dealt a bad hand. I did. But just because you're dealt a bad hand in life does not mean, or, just as a child, doesn't mean you have to make that your life. When I went through a lot. I think one of the things that helped to shape and mold me as an adolescent, into an adolescent was the fact that because of the choices my mom and my dad made, I had to move around to different relatives. I felt unwanted. I felt unloved because it really was the truth. People didn't want, they didn't want an extra child in their home. I was a burden to a lot of people that I had to stay with. And, as a result, I went through a lot. And I'm not going to get into everything, but I went through a lot of mistreatment as well. And just had a lot of bad things spoken over my life. They were supposed to be meant to take me out, but they didn't. Just things like you're going to be just like your mother. You're never going to be nothing. And those are things we have to be careful that we don't speak over children, because some children actually fall into that. Those words become a reality over their life. And then people like me, no, we're not going to accept that. Life and death lies in the power of the tongue. So we definitely have to be careful what we speak over children. But either way it go, when I became an adult at 18, because of everything I went through, all of the rejection, all of the pain, the hurt, all of the just feeling unloved and unwanted, and just I knew I was a burden. It's one thing when but it's another thing when you actually know you're a burden. And, when I turned 18 and I was on my own or whatever, I started making choices with relationships based off of how I felt, and from a broken place. I was so broken as a young lady. I was a broken young lady. I was jacked up. You know, to when you have a parent that doesn't want you, especially your mother, that does something to you psychologically and emotionally. It jacks you up, because you like, if your mama don't want you, then it's like, it's something about a mother not wanting you versus, that's a deep thing there. It's a deep wound, or whatever that takes place. It takes root. So anyway, when I became 18 and, I started dating guys that, I allowed a lot of abuse. I allowed a lot of mistreatment. I allowed a lot of just disrespect based off of things that, because I was just emotionally traumatized. I know now that's why I made a lot of the choices that I made, and why I've been in the relationships that I've been in. Nobody that I've been with to this day was anybody I was supposed to be with. And I know that may sound kind of harsh. I don't mean it negatively speaking on their behalf, because some of these people were really good guys, but they were not meant to be a part of my life the way they were. Um, so, but it was just choices that I made. I don't look back at the past and say I regret, because I don't. Even though I made the choices I made from the place that I made them, I thank God for his grace and mercy, because I had no control over how I grew up. I had no control over the pain and hurt and rejection and everything that I went through that shaped me into the young adult woman that I became, that made all the bad choices that I made. I had no control over that. So I can't regret something that I had no control over. I just can't. In my mind, I can't even wrap my mind around doing that, because how can I regret something that I had no control over in the first place? So with that being, not to say that I'm not at fault for some of those things, because some of them I am, but I'm not at fault for everything I went through as a child, because I didn't have any control over that. So I'm not taking responsibility for that. And I'm not blaming anybody from my past for that. God will handle people in his own way that have done things to me in my past. I'm no longer worried about, that You know, the Lord will take care of all of that. My thing that the Lord wanted me to do was to forgive them. That's what I've done. And he'll handle the rest however he chooses to do that. But the reason I wanted to make this video was to encourage somebody that you have to get to a place where you forgive yourself. I've forgiven me. I don't care who knew me from the past and said, you know what, Latifah, you used to be this or you done that. Because I guarantee you, if they know me today and they actually spend some time around me and they look at my life now, they will see that I'm a totally different person. And part of that came through just the healing, just allowing the Lord to heal me. People, hear me, women or men, let God heal you from things that you had no control over. If you like me went through a lot as a child, let God heal you. Even if you marry now, let him heal you, because it will make your marriage so much better. It's going to make your life so much better. My husband he's going to be so blessed by me because I have allowed God to heal me and to make me whole. And I'm no longer walking into relationships with baggage and with all this hurt, pain, and instability emotionally and mentally and just jacked upness. You know, sometimes we walking into these relationships and we jacked up. It's just what it is. We're jacked up because we don't want to face it. We don't want to face a lot of women, and I'm going to say this, I'm going to leave it alone. A lot of women wouldn't be angry if they allow God to heal them from stuff that ain't got nothing to do with the person who they with. There are a lot of angry women. A lot of us as women will be more apt to give props to other women if we just receive the love and healing from the Lord. Because we'll see that we're beautiful too. We all beautiful. We all have our own special giftings, beauty, uniqueness from the Lord. And that should be enough. That should be enough. That's why I could look at my sister and say, girl, you got it going on. All right now, I ain't jealous of no woman. I don't want to be nobody else. I don't know about you. But let God heal you so that you can be whole. God wants us to be whole so that we can be a blessing to everybody around us. Because even when we're broken from our past and from our childhood, it carries into whatever relationship we have. It carries on to our children. We have to allow God to heal us and to make us whole so that we're not putting it out when we're not punishing our children who have nothing to do with it. It ain't our fault and it ain't their fault. So everybody's being punished for something that, it shouldn't even be happening. So I would just encourage you. Sorry, my daughter's waking up from her nap. But one of the things I want to say that helped me, but I know Pastor Angela, she's such a sweetheart. I love her because she tell you how it is. She said, Latifah, I love your videos, but make sure you're helping the people. So I try to just, give the help that I received. One of the things I did so that the Lord could make me whole was I began to fast once a month. I fast once a month for 3 days. And I only do a water fast. I fast from, it don't matter, 3 days, once a month, water only. So that, because there's power in prayer and fasting, so that God could begin to break those strongholds off of my life, so that God could heal me, from the inside out, and he has done just that. So there is so much power in prayer and fasting that we have no idea. So I would encourage you to get into that, to tap into it, to spend time with the Lord, because that's where our healing is going to come from. It's just not going to drop out the sky. We have to, for one, be ready. We have to be ready. God knows your heart. He knows your heart. He knows exactly where you are. He knows if you mean what you say to him. When you're ready, take it to him. And I definitely will always encourage prayer and fasting. So with that being said, I just wanted to encourage you that once we become whole in the Lord, then our relationships will be so much better. I'm actually excited about my future. I'm not saying I'm ready to get married for the last time, but I will say that I know for a fact that God has made me whole. He has eliminated any of baggage that I have, and he has made me now that I could be a blessing to my husband, and hopefully my husband will be a blessing to me. So I don't, I want you to know that if, you've had a situation like myself, that there is hope. I want you to know that, it's okay. God will take care of you. Don't worry about what people got to say about you. Don't worry about who knew about what you did. I'm telling you, I made so many bad choices, but you know what? I don't care. It's a lot of people on my friends list that knew me from childhood to adulthood to now, and I kept them around for a reason. I knew. See, I wanted them to see the power of the Lord working in my life, and I'm gonna keep them around as long as they'll stay, so that they can see the power of the Lord moving in my life. So with that being said, I just want to encourage you that there is hope, and allow him to heal you so that you could be made whole, and so you could just have the abundant life that God has for you. Amen. All right, y'all, be blessed. I'm praying for you, and I'll talk to you soon.